I try to just let myself wake up naturally and do my morning chores as things go. And what has evolved is something that I feel like is maybe the subject of today. Perfect timing, just by going in the flow. It's 9:50 a.m. Usually around 10 o'clock a.m. or so, Imogene and I take a walk. And so I've been, kind of puttering around. Started to get dressed, didn't look at the clock. What I did do is this. Looking in my closet, deciding if I want to go into shorts today, which would mark the first time in weeks. It's a beautiful 70 degrees here, and I realize warm weather's calling me. I'm thinking about putting shorts on. I decide to commit to shorts, and I look down. This one is here, and she's looking out, and there's a bird chirping out there. T-shirt or a long sleeve? I know, I'm getting there. Yes. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Bed is made. First, we're going to go for a walk on the beach or whatever we can find outside the view of what I can see here. I think it's quite a ways to walk to the ocean. At least that's what the, Google Maps was showing. And, there's all kinds of paths and that probably. So, got a lot to talk about today. Got our bearings. There is a way that gets us closer to the ocean. Doesn't look like it's too far down. Got Imogene on her leash because she was dawdling. Usually when we're in a... Oh! What did I find here? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go see what it's at the top of that hill. This is always so exciting to be going over the crest of some sort of a hill that I have never seen. A little bit higher. Higher, 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 higher. And you know what this reminds me of? That little children's ditty. Bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. And what did they see? They saw another mountain. They saw another mountain. They all saw another mountain. And decided to take their time and enjoy what's right in front of them. There's a bird leading us down the path, down the meandering path. It's still November, and that's our card. I'm coming down off that hill. This looks like an access road here. And then a do not enter, which I'm not going to enter. There's no way, after my Baja adventure, am I ever attempting to do that in the van that I own right now. Well, let's see. What to do, what to do. I know to the right here, there is an access road. So let's walk down it to this way and see what we find. Oops! Hi, sorry. Those people appeared out of nowhere. The guy in the first thing kind of gave me a like a look. Maybe it's because of my acetique hat. I'm just getting into wearing baseball hats, so they really are great as far as shading the sun, so I'm just trying to embrace it. Never have been a hat person, but out here on the road, I need portable face shading. And so, perfect timing. That's the subject for today. I'm going to try to do this several snippets at a time. This is like a main road. Hey! I'm going to start off by sharing with you what opened up this contemplative place that I've been in the past 12 hours or 24 hours, I guess, because it was about this time last year, yesterday, where I was at the grocery store and I was looking for beer, and I do like to have a beer every day. I've never been a beer drinker, but I have realized recently that there is different tastes in beer that I like better than others, and lager is what it is. So I'm getting groceries. I wanted to get beer because I'm going to be out on the road for a little bit. And I thought of Steve, of camping with Steve. And that's not the first, time that he's come into my head. Although, probably, well, there's a different couple reasons why he comes into my head. But beer is one of them. So let's stay on the beer thing for right now. So I got this beer, and then I'm looking around, and when I'm in a town, I want to try to buy local. So I saw this lager beer made in North Carolina, and that's where I am, Nag's Head. So I pulled down this beer, and that's when I thought of Steve. It's like, oh, here's my step twos. And so that's how it started. Ooh, look what we have here. Oh. Hello. Over here, I do believe, is the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. And over here is various antennas, towers. I think there's a cell phone tower a little further back. There's a larger antenna there, which may have all kinds of other stuff on it. But and then all through this campground, it's pretty wired. I mean, I have Verizon, and I'm having no problem getting 2 bars. Having this visual here could lead to some thoughts about how ugly it is to, transplant all this ugly wires and beeping lights and things like that into a pristine landscape such as this. And I totally agree that we could come a long way in making these new ways of harvesting energy more aesthetically pleasing to the eye as well, more in tune with nature. Overall, I think it's a perfect example of how humankind really
wants connection, wants community, wants to find people that help them to feel that there's others like them out here. And even if it's one person, it's great. So allowing technology to connect human beings in that way, I love it and I embrace it and I look forward to it. And as someone who's leapt into YouTube technology, becoming a visual storyteller, I have the stories that I watch of various YouTube storytellers that have influenced me, and I've had a chance to thank in person a couple of these people that have encouraged me, and I now am starting to get people recognizing me, and I am trying to encourage them, and this whole vibe, as I have felt it so far here, is that everybody is supporting and wanting to support everybody in whatever way that they feel called to express themselves. And one of those stories that I enjoy watching is Camping with Steve. And I already did the step 2 thing. The next thing that I really liked about his channel was that he wanted to remove himself from to sponsor products, or at least my understanding. You know, I don't know for sure, this is just my sense. And I have nothing, I have no, if anybody else wants to do that, that's great. I have sold products my entire life, I've made products and all that. I'm at a time in my life now where I am, I guess, in this next way of generating green money so that I can exist in this world, is the only thing that I have left, because I'm not going to have, you know, my strength and all left, is my stories, which I hope are universal. So I really don't want to be sponsored. You know, I'm really hoping that that, like Steve and many other storytellers that I follow and admire, and do it. And it's product sponsorship is a-okay with me too. So that's number 2. He didn't do that. You know, that was kind of how he was doing his philosophy, his perspective of how he saw his channel. And the third thing was for his friends, and he had friends that he gave them very clever honoring names for, you know, of course there's Crazy Neighbor and, you know, a couple of other ones, but I liked that because at that time I could see myself involving my friends, but, you know, no one I know knew at that time, and very rarely in the couple of years since, YouTube, what's YouTube and storytelling and all that. So I did try that out. There's some videos for that. I'm going to put the link up, of course, if you want to go back. And those are my very first kind of dipping my toe in, but it didn't really make the connection with Steve or anything. It was just one of many things. Fast forward to this past beginning of the July, and I was at Mount Hood, and I was cooking russet potatoes, another link I'm going to put up, because it's germane to this story. I was cooking, I got everything on and all that, and so it was time for a step 2. So I opened the beer, and I don't know what I was going to talk about, but what I spontaneously did was a toast to Steve. And the reason why I was toasting him overall had to do with he having this endearing name for his wife called Beautiful Wife. and she didn't choose to be on camera, but she was always there. Her vibe was always there. I felt that. I have connection kind of, with my husband. It was a visible figure in our community, so I could totally relate to his beloved's choice not to be in the picture. And so that was the toast. This was the beginning of July. And I'm on the road and all that, and then so the next time that I tuned in, I had just posted that story because I'm a few weeks behind. So I just posted that story. And after I posted that story, and I really feel like it was within hours, is when I clicked on a story that Steve's was sharing that his wife had died. And I don't need to know the details. I'm this again. It's, has everything, but I'm trying to keep this as clear as possible in my storytelling. Is I was just blown away, and one of my subscribers said, "Wow, Steve's." Wife just died. I knew exactly who she was talking about, and I was just blown away. It knocked me for a loop for a while. Like, wow, should I say anything? He doesn't know who I am. I wasn't doing it really to necessarily ever think that, I'd have anything to offer to say to him. And yet here it keeps coming up and keeps coming up and keeps coming up and keeps coming up. And then yesterday was the beer. And here I am right this minute. And I have to go back a little bit. And I think I'm going to save that for, I need to get my thoughts together around telling this part of the story. Well, the microphones, the battery went out, so this is al fresco recording. I hope it comes out okay. I'm wrapping up the story that has been unfolding for me over the past 12 hours. And we're at the part of where it's in confluence with my story. When I picked up that beer yesterday and I thought about Steve, and maybe it's like after 3 times, it's like, look at it. I'm not really sure. And this was something that just, I've had this channel for a couple of years, so this is kind of over the last couple of years, here and there. So what I'm realizing is the connection that I have with Steve is via the grief that we hold with our beloved that is no longer here in physical form. So, and since we are both storytellers, you much more seasoned and better one than I, the stories that people came and told me after my beloved died, I loved them. He was well known in our community, and I just loved hearing the stories. It's just been just a wonderful, wonderful outpouring, and it's led me to want to, if the occasion arises, to show my appreciation and my gratitude for what I've learned from another human being. And I'm feeling like maybe I have a chance to gift it back. Speaking 6 years out from when I the wind. All will be well. And it was the community around me, my friends, that really held me and allowed me to just be with whatever it was for me. I feel very fortunate in that. I've seen a couple of stories that you've told that you are collaborating with Bev. That is helping me still with the healing process. I love collaboration, and it's helping with the collaboration. I mean, the collaboration is helping with the healing process. The point of this whole thing is what I'm seeing is we're out here showing what grief looks like as someone who can't sit still. Yeah. So I would say that we may or may not ever meet. What I'm going to leave everyone with this is that we are showing a way through grief. You're coming along with the ride. You are part of my healing process. And I think that is maybe a needed thing. It's feeling very strongly to me right now that it is. So the wind is kicking up. Didn't get the turbine up. I really feel like I need to. The first time that I'm in a windy spot, that I'm going to be there for 4 days, I'm going to put the wind turbine up. I promise, and I'm going to do a story about it. I'll see you later, kindred spirits. Thank you for all your support. Thank you to Patreon supporters. All of you are really making a difference in my life. And my wish is that I am making a little bit of a more uplifting difference in yours. That's the moon shine right there. Moonshine. Hatteras Lighthouse. Rooted. Holding the beat. Guiding us in. And welcoming us to unknown shores. Good night, everyone. See you soon.